Welcome to Mr. Zero to Infinity for episode 42. In this episode, I'll be covering some of my notes from the Q1 earnings call for Penn National Gaming, also known as Penn Stock, discussing my thoughts and opinions. If you're new to the channel, I invest in stocks with long-term growth potential based on trends that I'm seeing every week in the market. I've been documenting one of my stock portfolios here on YouTube, and the portfolio was a little over $6,100 at the time I took this screenshot. The stock account started at zero at the beginning of this year, 2020, and we had a bit of a bumpy ride during the stock market crash. Luckily, while others were selling, I was buying more and more stocks in the portfolio. I have yet to sell any stocks at this time, and I have plans to ramp up the size of the deposits as we continue with this YouTube episode series. If you are looking to grow your stock portfolio higher and higher, and it sounds like we may be on the same journey from zero to infinity, feel free to subscribe if you want to follow along, and every like really helps this channel grow to infinity. Subscribers keep coming in, and we just hit over 1,200 subscribers. Thanks for all the support, everybody. Before we dig into my notes on Penn Stock and Barstool Sports, as always, all my episodes are for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just documenting one of my stock portfolios. This isn't your portfolio. My thoughts, opinions, and commentary of finding the latest trends to build wealth in the stock market will not meet your own unique goals. For that reason, always do your own research and due diligence and never rely on my information in any of my videos, since a lot of these notes include forward-looking statements with no guarantees that everything works out as planned. So let's get started. Penn National Gaming, or Penn Stock, reported earnings a couple of weeks ago, and you all know I like to research a ton of stocks myself since I don't rely on anyone else before selecting and buying a new stock for my portfolio. I don't buy a bucket of stocks like an index fund, since I prefer to put in the work to find the winning stocks and minimize the losing stocks as the stock market continues to move up and down each week of the year. So let me address one thing before I get into my notes. I like facts. The best place to get facts on any stocks is the investor relations page by just using Google and searching up the company you're looking for and adding investor relations. Usually it's the first link. Each quarter, my growth stocks report earnings, and those earning reports include the financials of what occurred during the previous quarter. Did earnings and revenues grow? Was the net income a gain or loss? Everything is there to be fully researched. On earnings day, the management team for each publicly traded company will normally conduct a phone call, which is usually about an hour or so long, for institutional analysts to ask questions and for the CEO to discuss his thoughts about the previous quarter and the future growth. Lots of new investors and beginners rely on writers, analysts, and even YouTubers to summarize what happened during the call. Keep in mind, I only write notes of what's important to me and my research. So let's pull up a blank screen and discuss my notes. First, Jay Snowden is the CEO of Penn National Gaming, and he was joined by the new CFO Dave Williams, who recently joined the team from Apple. Yes, Apple. The same Apple which I am already invested in. Yes, the Apple that just paid me a dividend, which was added to my cash account. When it comes to hiring managers, I am always taking notes on the background of new people joining the team. In my opinion, hiring talent from Apple is comparable to hiring the best of the best. Apple is one of the biggest tech companies in the world for a reason. Based on Dave Williams' LinkedIn page, it looks like he was with Apple for 19 plus years. A lot of investors would brush a new CFO name to the side, but I really like seeing a big company on his resume. Think about it. If Dave Williams was working for Apple over the last 19 years, how much experience and knowledge is he bringing to a company like Penn National Gaming, which is working on implementing new technology like the Barstool sports betting app, and also working on future technology enhancements in one of the last industries that transacts in cash? Sure, he works in the finance department, but he knows how Apple gets stuff done. DraftKings already has a working technology, so the race to gaining market share in the sports betting industry is on. To add, I'm sure Jay Snowden is learning a lot from Dave, and I'm sure they have big plans to accelerate digitalization of transactions inside Penn National's casinos, as well as on people's mobile phones. I've discussed the 5G wave that's coming in an earlier episode, but I just wanted to mention that a 5G connection will have big effects on live betting over the next couple of years. Let me give you one quick example. Let's say you're on your living room couch watching Golden State and Steph Curry just hit 2 threes in a row. You noticed he has a hot hand and you go on your sports betting app in a state, which sports betting is legal of course, to check on the odds of Steph's next 3-point attempt. With new 5G capabilities, there's a possibility for a sports betting platform to allow bets based on live data coming in each second. This means an app will have a live lock-in period of allowing bets that can be finalized within seconds of placing a bet. Talk about live betting? Now that's the future. Sure, it will take some time to work on the back end, but I'm sure a guy like Dave Williams with an Apple background could help more conversations towards a working product rather than just an idea. That's the goal for any company. Take amazing ideas and implement them within the business to generate higher and higher profits each quarter. My next note is Jay Snowden stressed the importance of innovation. Innovation is something I always want to hear the leader of my companies focus on. Innovate or get disrupted. When it comes to innovation, Jay highlighted a few things about the Barstool Sports betting app. He said it's on schedule to launch in the third quarter of this year, 2020. He mentioned he has a team of around 100 product developers and engineers working remotely, and the team didn't lose any ground on the timeline. Jay emphasized the fact that Penn has properties in 19 states, and no more than 15% of revenues are derived from any single state. This pretty much hits on the importance of diversification, which I personally like to see with the company that has casinos and hotels around the country. An example that comes to mind is, let's say you own real estate in one city, and one day a storm wipes out the entire city with floods. You are all in on one location. By spreading out your properties in different states, you are spreading your risk out, which is what I like to see. Next note, in regards to Barstool Sports, April was the best commerce month ever. Jay Snowden mentioned Dave Portnoy's unboxing series received 50 million views, and the Barstool TikTok account is up to 9 million followers. Jay said he knows staying relevant is very important. I like that he said this because he's probably on a mission to turn his casino properties from old school to more of a new school atmosphere with the implementation of Barstool. He also highlighted the costs associated with direct mail product placement. I think Barstool will be a great addition to assist with social media marketing to reduce costs on outdated marketing ideas like direct mail. Another note is Jay went over Penn's opening plans for each property. He said 40 of Penn's 41 properties have customers that come in from a 20 to 30 minute distance. The main reason he brought this topic up is because he thinks air travel may need a longer time to recover compared to driving in a car. Will the airline business and these airline stocks recover? Time will tell. Jay ended saying, as CEO of Penn National Gaming, he's on a mission to be a top 3 market share player in every state that Penn operates sports betting. Period. And with that line, I am looking forward to the next earnings call to see how everything plays out this year. Will issues come up? I'm sure there will. The question is, how will the management team handle the issues on the way to growing the company long term? Let's end it there. I hope you enjoyed a few of my notes. If you like this one, maybe I'll have to discuss my notes on some other earnings calls. In regards to Penn National Gaming being the top casino stock in 2020, time will tell. I'm a part owner and I look forward to seeing how everything plays out, especially with competition from DraftKings stock, FanDuel, and MGM. Play the music. Maybe I didn't earn your subscription with this episode, but there's always next episode. It's free to subscribe, and a couple of my favorite comments from last episode are on your screen. Feel free to click on some of my earlier episodes if you enjoyed this video. Instagram is Mr. Zero to Infinity, so make sure to join in early. Thanks again for watching. Let's keep building from zero to infinity. You got this. As always, this episode is not intended as investment advice. Do your own research prior to making any investments and do your own fact checking. Read the disclaimer on your screen fully. Remember, all opinions in this episode are mine and mine alone. I'm not a financial advisor, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. Never rely on any of my information when making investment decisions.